Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I'm Stylosa, and by now you've probably read the Uprising comic. It is the best comic to date. It is full of loads of information, and it points towards what the playable element is going to be in the event next week, which is of course the Uprising event, and it shows us loads of skins. So we're going to discuss that in this video. But first, let's just say, Blizz, if this is not a skin, if this Genji Blackwatch cyborg ninja rage killer murderer thing is not a skin, there will be a riot on the internet. It must be, because it features so heavily in the comics. But yeah, this confirms actually that he was part of Blackwatch, which I don't think we knew before. It also confirms that Hanzo butchered him in such a ridiculous way. It is, well, absolutely ridiculous. And the Shimada bros seem to like the left nipple for some reason. So yeah, when Hanzo was butchering him, he probably thought, "No, I won't chop the left one off, I'll chop the right one off." What? Anyway, we've got McCree here, and he's in London, and he confirms that this purple thing is an AA air defense sort of turret thing, like a massive laser flak cannon or whatever. Why the hell does he say that, though? It must be relevant to what's going on. And then, of course, we've got him killing one of the null sector robots because, well, he's McCree. Then we've got Anna, and we've got Captain Jack Morrison asking Gabriel Reyes what the hell McCree is doing in London. Now, why would he be doing that? Well, Reyes is in charge of Blackwatch, and Blackwatch is the covert ops division of Overwatch, yeah? Morrison and Anna are basically in charge of Overwatch itself, but the more visible public face, the standard Overwatch. Blackwatch is the more underhand, the covert ops, the Black Ops division. And this Uprising event and the comic, I think it kicks into motion the downfall of Overwatch, because we start seeing things like governments losing sort of confidence in Overwatch. We've got Director Petrus, who is the head of the International Justice Commission, and he wants to talk to Jack because, well, things are not too great. So yeah, this is probably going to be the start of the downfall of Overwatch. Anyway, this is an interesting little still here. So if we look at what's going on here, and I'll read off what they say. So, "I want to know how Null Sector caught us off guard," says Jack Morrison. And then Gabriel Reyes goes on to say, "We've always had a blind spot when it comes to the Omnics. Null Sector's been around for a while, but they've been underground." Now, that's probably a reference to the underworld, which is underneath King's Row. At least I think it is. That might be why we're trying to take an EMP there in the actual live game, because maybe they're all terrorist robots. I don't know, it seems kind of ridiculous, but whatever. And then he goes on to say, "They say they're fighting for Omnic rights, but they're extremists. They'll do whatever it takes." And now Anna corrects him. She says, "They're not extremists, Gabriel. They're terrorists." So actually, Gabriel has got a little bit of an issue here. He's finding it hard to differentiate between an extremist and a terrorist. So this probably is why he sort of, or it's the start of his mindset sort of changing for when he becomes an agent of Talon, when he turns into Reaper. And of course, we don't know how any of that happens, but obviously we probably will do in the future. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then we move on to the next one, and this gives us a bit more information to the in-game event. So we know there's AA involved at this point, and we know obviously it goes on in King's Row. We know it involves Null Sector robots. Look at this though. So this is Tracer, or, well, she's not actually Tracer at the moment. This is Cadet Oxton, which I think that'll be a skin as well. But we'll get onto that later. And she's talking to Jack, and this is what she says. "But they need our help, sir. I've seen the news. There's no reason to think that a few more weeks will change anything. By then, MONDATTA and all the other hostages could be dead. If we don't do something, it'll only be the beginning. Null Sector's in the heart of London." So this confirms, I think, that we're basically looking at a hostage rescue mission in King's Row. MONDATTA will get rescued because he does not die at this moment in time. We know he died basically a year ago in Overwatch lore, so this is 7 years ago Uprising is, so MONDATTA's got another 6 years of life after this, so we know he gets saved. And it would make sense that Tracer maybe saves him, because Tracer was in the Alive cinematic, so there is a connection to be made there. So if we move on, and we see this here, which is a conversation between Jack and Anna, and this is in the Switzerland main base of Overwatch. And basically she's saying, "Look, Jack, we've got to do something about this. We need to get involved." Now, up until this point, the British government has said they don't want help, and they still don't want help. But Overwatch are basically acting like world police, and, well, as you can see later on, Jack just decides to go, "No, we're going to send people over there to fix this mess out." So I thought that was interesting to include. And then we've got this. This is where it gets really interesting, because there is a bomb being loaded onto a dropship. What the hell is that bomb? This could be part of the playable element to the event. Now, I keep calling it a playable element because I don't know what it is. I hope to God you guys know me that it's a PvE element and it's a co-op kind of element. So what could that bomb be used for? Maybe to take out the AA? Makes sense, right? Now, what we're looking at here is inside the dropship. We can see the massive bomb, which is in a very dodgy position. Now, why would you have a bomb over your head, Torb, on your seat, you crazy person? Anyway, what we've got here are four players, right? We've got Reinhardt, we've got Torbjorn, we've got Tracer, or, well, Oxton at this moment in time, and Mercy. We've got a tank, we've got a defensive hero, we've got an offensive hero, and we've got a support. What is going on here? And we've got a massive bomb. Now, I think what's going to happen is they're going to be... These are the playable characters, much like the Junkenstein event, because we know Blizzard really liked the Junkenstein event. They liked that, and they wanted to expand on that. So I would imagine the Overwatch deployment team will be this team. Now, what will probably happen is, this is probably the more basic way of looking at this, we're going to see that bomb get dropped onto the AA straight away, which blows it up, and then we sort of land in the ship, and then we have to run forward through hordes of Omnics, get MONDATTA, escort him back to a point. Overwatch has already got the mechanics in for escorting things, so MONDATTA is probably like a payload remodel, for example, right? And he's just going to move through the map, we're going to get him out, and that's great. That's probably what's going to happen, right? Or we could start thinking a little bit deeper, and we could go, well, why the hell is Gabriel Reyes involved on the front cover of the comic, and why is McCree in London? So maybe there's some sort of Blackwatch element to all of this going on as well. Maybe Blackwatch is playable as well as the Overwatch agent, so maybe it's not just these four, maybe there's actually other Overwatch people involved. So I'm pretty sure the event is going to be a PvE. Please be a PvE event, Blizzard. You're going to kill me if it's not. It's going to be a hostage rescue mission. I think MONDATTA is going to be a payload, basically, that we move through the map while being attacked by null sector sort of Omnics, which is going to be easy for them to program AI-wise, I'd imagine, because they'll just flood at you pretty much like the Zomnics did in the Junkenstein event. That's what I think. Let me know in the comments below what you think, ladies and gentlemen, this event could be. I think... Honestly, a lot of the evidence points towards that. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to come to the conclusions I've come to, but it's going to be awesome to see this event. I want more PvE anyway. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at the skins. This has to be a skin. This Cyborg Ninja Blackwatch Genji skin has to be a skin. I mean, it looks ridiculous. It's all throughout the comic. It's very prominent. It's probably a skin. So if you're a Genji main... yes, this will probably be a skin. If it's not, there will be a riot on the internet, and I'll be part of the riot, because this is a skin that would turn me into a Genji main. I don't know whether that would be a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm well, I know, I'm absolutely terrible with Genji. I also found this as well, which is like a lower shot of sort of a schematic of Genji, or rather a picture of him standing there or whatever. But interestingly, we can see he's got a right hand. I don't know whether it showed us on the other picture that he had his other hand. I don't know. We know he's got his left hand, because, well, he's got his left arm, because Hanzo didn't decide to chop that off. But whatever, that's pretty interesting. And then we've got Tracer. This is... I think this is Cadet Oxton. At least that's what this skin will probably be called. This is a very young looking Tracer, because remember, this is 7 years ago, in a very Overwatchy, sleek style kind of, like, she looks a bit ragged, doesn't she, with like a leather kind of bomber jacket on that she's got at the moment. I mean, I think her standard skin probably looks better than this one, in my opinion, but it's nice to have variations. It's nice to have skins from the past as well, which I think is what we're going to see a lot of from this event. Also, we've got a close-up picture here of Tracer's face, so you can see, look, she looks very young, and it looks like a nice skin, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tracer always gets skins with the events, but that's to be expected. She is, after all, the face of the game. And then we've got Tracer again. Now, this is an interesting one, because I think, or at least I hope, we're going to get like Overwatch variations of the skins. So we can see Tracer's Overwatch uniform there. That's not Cadet Oxton anymore. That's totally different. We can also see Torbjorn as well, so he's probably going to get one. And then if we move forward, we can see Mercy as well with her Overwatch uniform, like sort of like a battle medic uniform with a little hat on with a little sort of red cross symbol on. So yeah, and we can see Reinhardt in the background, but we've got a better picture of Reinhardt anyway, we're going to see in a second. But yeah, we can see Mercy and Tracer again, so these are probably going to be epic skins maybe in the game. I don't think these are legendary worthy. I mean, they might be, I don't know, because remember, Captain Morrison, or Commander Jack, Strike Commander Jack, or whatever the skin's called, for the Origins edition for Soldier 76, is, well, he was the leader of Overwatch. That's what he looked like, and that's what he looks like in this comic. The next one we've got is Reinhardt. Now, this one looks pretty nice to me, probably because it looks like, well, Unit Lost, it's blue, right? And I played Reinhardt, so yeah, but this, I think, means we're probably going to get a lot of Overwatch versions of skins, because I don't think it's going to be too difficult to make these. I mean, I don't know. That does look a little bit different than Reinhardt's standard skin, but they could just maybe recolor elements of the skin. And again, I don't think these are legendary skins. I think these are probably epic skins, and I'm cool with that. We've got McCree as well. This is a Blackwatch McCree skin. Obviously, he's got his arm, so maybe McCree gets his arm blown off in whatever the hell happens in the Uprising event. Who knows? Probably not, because that's probably something which happens later down the line. But this is a very sort of... I don't know about this skin. We can't really see too much detail about it, but it looks fairly nice. It looks grimy. It looks like Van Helsing to me. It looks ridiculous. And then we've got these two skins here, which could possibly be skins. I don't know. Like sort of Dr. Lab Coat skins for Winston and Mercy. I don't know whether these will be skins, because this is kind of like casual wear that they're just sort of, you know, wearing in the office or whatever. But I mean, it could be. Who knows? I mean, but Winston's a scientist anyway, so it's kind of offensive to imply that he's not a scientist because he hasn't got his jacket on. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is, I think, pretty much everything inside this comic. There are other little bits of lore information, like the Overwatch official who's been murdered, who I think is Gerard Lacroix. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? Gerard Lacroix, whatever. Basically, Widowmaker's husband actually murdered, because I think Widowmaker probably kills him during the Uprising event or something like that, because she's not actually Widowmaker just yet, so we're going to have to see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be absolutely exciting. The event, I hope it's PvE. I hope it is, like, I think it's probably going to be, like I said, like a hostage rescue mission with MONDATTA, and he's like a payload, or like a reskinned payload or something. Like, we've got to move through King's Row. That kind of makes sense to me. I think the skins, it's pretty obvious what we're going to get in terms of legendary skins, like especially with the Genji skin that they've teased, and probably the Tracer Cadet skin will be legendary, I'd imagine. Beyond that, though, I'm not too sure. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. Remember, if you found any other bits of information, do send them me over Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you, ladies and gentlemen, on the next one. I cannot wait for this event to start. Oh my god.